Are you suffering from imposter syndrome? Feeling like you are well out of your depth, like you'll be busted any day soon? If you do, you're in good company. Albert Einstein called himself the involuntary swindler. And as many as 70% of us feel like an imposter at some time or another, according to International Journal of Behavioral Science. In this video, I'll share with you ways to banish your imposter syndrome and even turn it into a strength. We'll look at what imposter syndrome is, the 5 types of imposters, and I'll share a story from when I was gripped in the jaws of the imposter, when I wish the ground would open up and swallow me. Welcome to the Self-Discovery channel. I'm Smita, Joshi. I'm a transformation coach, an author, and a devoted yogi. In my previous life, I worked for 25 years internationally with well-known corporates and startups, winning large-scale, multi-million-dollar technology deals. In the early part of my work life, there were times when I would literally squirm when someone praised me for something that they thought that I'd done well. But that was because most of the time, I felt like I was just flying by the seat of my pants with no design and no strategy. It was all grit and determination, coming from a desperation to succeed and to get the bills paid rather than by design or strategy. And that's how it feels to be inside of imposter syndrome. You completely overlook your talents and accomplishments. Any success that you've had must just be luck. I'd regularly land those new clients and big deals, but even then I had this feeling, surely if I was doing it right, it wouldn't feel like I have to climb a new Kilimanjaro every single month. Imposter syndrome has you wondering if you're fooling people into believing that you're more competent and talented than you actually are. Maya Angelou, who wrote 11 books and received several awards, even she felt like this. She said, "I've run a game on everybody and they're going to find me out soon enough." Even the phenomenal Jennifer Lopez feels like an imposter. She said, "Even though I've sold 70 million albums, there was I, feeling that I'm no good at this." So what are the 5 types of imposter? Dr. Valerie Young, in her book, The Secret Thoughts of Successful Women, Why Capable People Suffer from Imposter Syndrome and How to Thrive in Spite of It, she talks about 5 main types of imposter: the natural genius, the perfectionist, the rugged individualist, the expert, and the superhero. Frankly, I relate to them all. It's having that fear that unless you're totally in charge of your situation, that if you're not sailing through every challenge with ease and grace like a natural genius, unless you do it perfectly the first time like the perfectionist you are, unless you achieve everything on your own without help from no one as the rugged individualist, unless you're the expert who knows everything there is to know about your topic, and unless you're equally successful in every role that you play in your life, that is, unless you're a superhero, then you must be faking it. The reality is that none of us operate with ease and grace at all times, especially when you're in the early stages of a new job or an enterprise. One time, I must have been in my late 20s, I was leading my team consisting of technical and subject matter experts in a bid to win a large multi-billion-dollar deal with a well-known bank in London. We were invited by the bank to present our proposal. So I got up and started presenting to a group of what must have been around 25 people in the room. Present were the bank's board members and the senior-most executives, as well as my own colleagues and our CEO. So standing there, as I looked over the sea of serious faces in front of me, I literally froze. My knees felt weak, my mouth went dry, sounds wouldn't come out of my mouth, and worse still, I could not remember a thing that I was supposed to say.
What's your case? Our case is simply this.
My face and my brain felt like they'd literally melted into the floor. I kind of momentarily left my body with embarrassment and shame. So as the clock on the wall is ticking, after a few seconds that I'd been standing there frozen that felt like an hour, being stared at by a room full of important people, I finally managed a fight or flight response. I remember thinking, what the hell? I'm just standing here like an idiot. I either go and sit down or I finish what I started. And que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. So I took a deep breath, I gathered myself and carried on. And thankfully, things after that went well and we ended up winning the deal. But I tell you something, I have never felt so sick to the core with shame and embarrassment. And that's another hallmark of the imposter syndrome. It triggers disowned feelings from your past of shame and embarrassment. So what are the triggers of imposter syndrome? Conversations hanging over from our childhood can act as triggers. Things like you're getting too big for your boots or you're so big-headed. All these things that people say to steal your power and to belittle you can actually stick around for a long time. Other past-based triggers could also be where you felt that you were not acknowledged for your wins. Perhaps you were compared to other people. Perhaps you yourself compared yourself to somebody else. Maybe you felt overly criticized for your mistakes and failures, perhaps even abused by way of punishment. See, these are things that when left unaddressed become backseat drivers, triggering unexpected behaviors, especially in times of stress. And they can also leave you constantly needing validation. So, how to banish imposter syndrome? First, catch your internal dialogue in action and simply don't buy into whatever this limiting voice is telling you.
I don't think I can do this!
Vanessa, pull yourself together. Listen to me. You have got to snap out of it.
2. Find your blind spots. Is there a younger, disowned version of you getting triggered when you're in stressful situations? What does that younger you need to be assured that you are enough? Perhaps it's time to let go of the feelings of shame. See, it's really worth investing in yourself to transform those hidden conversations that rob you of your power even today. 3. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Step out of your comfort zone, take risks, make mistakes, but don't judge yourself badly when you don't get it right. 4. Internalize your successes. Make a list of your successes and then keep reading it until you get utterly bored with it. 5. Sift the gold. Turn insecurities into strengths. How valid are the concerns of your imposter? Are your standards and ideals unrealistic? Would learning a new skill benefit you? Would consistent practice take you to another level? And that brings me to tip number 6. Embrace the imperfect and apply the 1% rule. Tony Baker, in his book, The 1% Rule, talks about making consistent micro improvements by being 1% better at what you do each day. Over time, this amounts to significant progress. So these are things that you can do in the longer term, but what about in the moment when the imposter is starting to rear its head? Practice a simple breathing technique to calm your thoughts. And then, like a fly on the wall, simply observe your thoughts. Observe your thoughts, but don't act on them. Remember that you are not your body, you are not your mind, you are not your feelings, you are not your emotions. It just feels that way because we are so strongly identified with those things as being who we are. And then have a simple mantra like all is well. Or an image that helps you to snap out of your head. I like reminding myself that thoughts are like the clouds passing by. Don't latch on to every thought that you have and it will evaporate into thin air. Refuse to believe those thoughts. Accept only those thoughts that empower you. I hope you got value from this video, and if you've enjoyed it, do like it and share it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do go ahead and subscribe. And do go ahead and download some free gifts from my website, smitajoshi.com. If this topic is of interest to you, you might also like some other videos that I've got on similar topics coming up on the screen now. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.